The Grand Assembly fell silent as Commander Zekthor limped to the podium, his forearms bearing the scars of 100 battles. The Colothian war hero's exoskeleton was cracked in places, testament to conflicts that had shaped the galaxy for 3 centuries. Today, however, he had not come to speak of the Hive Wars or the Crystalline Insurgency. He had come to speak of Earth. "You mock them," Zekthor began, his translator rendering his clicking mandibles into galactic standard. "The humans. You call them soft-skinned, short-lived, weak. I have heard your jokes in the corridors. I have seen your dismissive gestures when their delegation enters a room." Ambassador Teles of the Valorian Empire shifted uncomfortably in her seat. She had indeed laughed at the human ambassador just that morning, his pathetic 2 arms and fragile skin barely containing his internal organs. What kind of evolutionary mistake produced a species without natural armor? "I was like you once," Zekthor continued. 17 cycles ago, my fleet encountered a human vessel near the Epsilon frontier. A lone ship damaged, drifting through the contested zone where the Zathan swarm had just annihilated 3 of our battle groups. He paused, his compound eyes reflecting the chamber's lights like fractured stars. The ship was called the Indomitable. Ridiculous name for such a small craft. We scanned it. 43 life signs, humans. Their ship was barely holding atmosphere. We detected no weapon signatures, no shield generators. I ordered my crew to ignore them. We had a war to fight. Zekthor's voice grew quieter, forcing the assembly to lean forward. Then the swarm arrived. 37 Zathan dreadnoughts materialized from quantum space. My fleet numbered 12 ships. We had minutes before they would overwhelm us. I prepared my final battle report, made peace with the ancestors, and charged our weapons. The human ship moved. A murmur rippled through the assembly. The Zathan swarm were legendary, their numerical superiority and hive-mind coordination making them nearly unstoppable in fleet combat. Every species had lost vessels to them. With no shields, no weapons, and hull breaches on every deck, the Indomitable positioned itself between my flagship and the swarm's primary dreadnought. I opened communications to demand an explanation. The human captain appeared on my screen. She was young by their standards, barely into her 3rd decade. Blood ran down her face from a head wound. Behind her I could see her crew frantically working at sparking consoles. Zekthor's voice carried across the silent chamber. She said, and I quote, "Commander, today is not your day to die. It might be ours, but not yours." Then she cut the transmission and accelerated directly into the swarm formation. I watched, certain I was witnessing a suicide born of madness. The Zathan concentrated fire on the human vessel. It should have been vaporized in seconds. But humans, I learned that day, do not build their ships like we do. While we focus on shields and weapons, they build redundancy upon redundancy. Backup systems for backup systems. Armor that ablates and redirects. Compartmentalization that keeps a ship fighting even when half its systems are destroyed. The Indomitable took hits that would have split my flagship in 2. Hull plating vaporized. Entire sections decompressed. But still it pushed forward deeper into the swarm formation. I thought them fools until I understood their plan. Zekthor's mandibles clicked in what his species considered grim respect. Their damaged reactor was destabilizing. They had been trying to contain it when we encountered them. But when the swarm arrived, they stopped trying to fix it. They started overloading it deliberately. The captain had turned her dying ship into the largest fusion bomb I have ever witnessed. The Indomitable detonated at the heart of the swarm formation. 15 dreadnoughts were destroyed instantly. Another 8 were crippled. The quantum shockwave disrupted their hive coordination. In the chaos that followed, my fleet destroyed the remaining swarm vessels. 43 humans died that day to save 7,000 Colothians they had never met. The assembly sat in stunned silence. Ambassador Teles felt something unfamiliar rising in her chest. Was it shame? "But that is not why I fear humans," Zekthor said. "Any species can produce individuals willing to sacrifice themselves. What makes humans terrifying is what happened next." 3 cycles later, I attended the memorial service on Earth. I expected a somber affair, perhaps a monument. What I found was a recruitment center with a waiting list of 10,000 applicants. Each one had heard the story of the Indomitable. Each one wanted to serve aboard ships named after the crew members who died. I spoke with an elderly human female who was mourning her granddaughter, one of the Indomitable's engineers. I offered my condolences and praised her granddaughter's sacrifice. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "She didn't sacrifice herself, Commander. She did her job. That's what humans do. We see someone who needs help and we help, even if it costs us everything." Zekthor's voice rose, filling the chamber. "You dismiss them because they are physically weak, because they have no natural weapons, no armor plating, no redundant organs. But I have fought beside 17 species across 50 star systems. I have never encountered a people more dangerous than humans."
Do you know why?
He swept his gaze across the assembly. "Because they do not need a reason to help you. They do not calculate odds or measure profit. When a human sees another being in danger, something in their primitive brain simply says no to the universe. They are evolutionarily programmed to protect the pack, even when you are not part of their pack, even when protecting you will kill them. The Zathan swarm has instinct. The Valorian Empire has honor. The Colothian Federation has duty. But humans have something more dangerous than any of these. They have compassion backed by an unreasonable refusal to accept defeat. They will jury-rig impossible solutions from broken equipment. They will fight on with wounds that would kill any of us. They will smile at you while bleeding out, crack jokes while their ship disintegrates around them, and spend their last breath saving strangers." Zekthor placed all 4 hands on the podium. "So yes, mock their soft skin and short lifespans. Laugh at their inefficient biology. But remember this. When the void comes for you, when you face an enemy that cannot be reasoned with or defeated, pray that there is a human nearby. Because they will fight for you. They will die for you, and they will do it without hesitation, without asking for anything in return. The galaxy does not fear humans because they are warriors. The galaxy should fear humans because they are heroes and they do not know how to be anything else." The commander stepped down from the podium, his injuries making each step painful. As he passed the human delegation, Ambassador Chen stood and placed her hand over her heart in salute. Zekthor returned the gesture with all 4 arms. Behind him, the Grand Assembly sat in silence, seeing humanity with new eyes. Ambassador Teles looked at her own armored hands and wondered if perhaps strength came in forms she had never considered. In the emptiness beyond the station, a star flickered and died, its light taking 8 minutes to reach Earth, where 10,000 humans waited to sign up for jobs they might not survive, simply because someone somewhere might need help. And that, Zekthor knew, was the most terrifying and beautiful thing about them.